The bobbin thread sits to the left of the bobbin hook. So you have this kind of piece here. The thread it's on the left side. Important. Let it drop in there. Don't touch it, but make sure all the thread is inside there. Don't have thread on the top of the machine. Then the thread from the needle, bring the needle about at the higher position, lift the presser foot, pass the thread in between the presser foot, and you want this thread to be about 1 foot long. If it's not long enough, you will have a problem. Bring it towards the rear of the machine. Make sure it's straight. It shouldn't be like this. Make sure it's straight and make sure it's all the way to the rear, but don't touch it. I'm not touching any of the threads at this point. I'm not putting any tension in them. I'm going to rotate the hand well. Notice the needle movement. The hand well, the top of the hand well comes towards me counterclockwise. I'm rotating it. Notice the needle goes inside, comes out, and I'm going to stop when the needle is at the top position. It's one single cycle. And notice my thread here was not long enough. If it's not long enough, you will lose it and you cannot capture the bobbin thread. So right now the needle, it's about at the top position. This is about the top position of the needle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this. So this is the top thread from the needle. It's black. I'm going to grab it with my left hand at the end. And with my right hand, I'm going to grab it from underneath the needle. So be careful at this point. You may keep the presser foot high in the air. So grab the end from underneath the needle. Bring it towards you, both of them. And there you have, put some tension in between your hands. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm pulling with both my hands on this thread, and this brings the bobbin thread out from there. I can just grab it like this. So the thread from the bobbin will just have an end. Let's recover. This is the top thread from the needle. You notice it's just sitting on the needle. It's normal. You can toss it to one side. And this is the thread from the bobbin. And the thread from the bobbin actually comes out through the middle hole here. So that's what's called it capturing it. It was sitting down there and now it's through this hole here. You can tell it's inside that hole. So at this position, before starting to sew, I'm going just to bring the bobbin thread towards the rear, so it's underneath the presser foot. From that hole, I'll just drop it towards the rear. But again, you want to have at least 1 foot long, about 30 centimeters. And the one from the needle is the same thing. I'm going just to pass it inside the presser foot, split, and just let it hang towards the rear of the machine. You put your fabric in there, lower always. This is the part where we always forget to lower the presser foot, and it's jamming the thread inside. Let me just give you a couple of troubleshooting if you cannot do this, if it doesn't work basically. My first suggestion, make sure the thread from the bobbin sits again to the left side of this hook. So if it's on the right side, just pass it above this hook and make sure it drops and sits in there. Make sure the thread is long enough. Also, you might want the first thing to replace the needle and put a needle that you know it's new. Needles may sometimes just slightly bend because they hit something and it's not visible to your eyes. So this is one thing you want to make sure. Another thing very important, the thread from the needle, actually, watch your fingers. If you can tell, when I'm inserting actually the thread from the upper spool, most of sewing machine, you must insert the thread from the left side towards the right side of the needle. So the thread, when you insert it into the needle eye, should most of the times come this way, from left to right. If you put it from right to left, is not going to capture inside. Some machines have this eye that you need to put the thread. I think single old machines, you need to put the thread from front to rear. But later machines from maybe 60s, 70s and on, left to right. This is very important, so bear this in mind. Another thing that may happen, maybe you don't see it very well here, let me see if I have enough light, is you have the shuttle inside and you have this ring which locks the shuttle in place. So the shuttle, it's the piece that rotates and supports the bobbin case. The shuttle spins inside and it's secured with this outer ring, which it's secured with two plastic locking tabs, this one and this one. These tabs have a screw at the bottom. Sometimes maybe someone did a repair, or maybe this one of these screws come loose a little bit. The tab is no longer holding this ring correctly in place. The shuttle is moving inside and may not capture the thread. So just grab a screwdriver and just make sure these screws, the two of them, are just snug tight. Don't force on them, but just make sure they are not loose. Finally, one problem which is more difficult to diagnose that may happen is when the needle hits the tip of the shuttle. So the shuttle has a hook, a sharp tip, and the needle must come near that tip when it's sewing. And if the needle bends because maybe the material was too thick, or maybe someone did hold the material while sewing, so the needle had a small deflection and hit the very tip of the, it's like a hook, like an angle, sharp angle on the shuttle. That tip of the shuttle hook or sharp angle may bend or even just get basically shattered. So this is difficult. What you need to do, it's almost impossible to see even with a magnifying glass. You may want to use a different shuttle. So just get a shuttle from another machine and swap it and see if things go well. And it's not really repairable. I did repair it on one machine. I do have a video on my channel playlist, but it's very difficult to do. So it's definitely, I don't think even a repair person or a repair shop will not try that. They will just replace the shuttle. These are about the problems that may prevent the thread from from getting captured